Before we begin, this video is created for educational and entertainment purposes only. It features commentary, analysis, and storytelling based on publicly available sources. Viewer discretion is advised. In a world captivated by fame and fortune, where icons are built on stages and screens, what happens when the glittering facade begins to crack? Today, we dive into the explosive allegations threatening to shatter the legacy of one of music's most powerful figures, Sean "Diddy" Combs. For Mia, stepping into Sean Combs' orbit in 2009 was a dream come true. A job that promised glitz, access, and success quickly became a descent into chaos. Her first encounter with Combs, he was in his underwear. An early signal, she says, of blurred boundaries. Soon, she was working 24 hours straight, summoned to Combs' studio with no sleep, no boundaries, and no idea how deep the rabbit hole went. Working for Sean Combs, especially in the capacity Mia did from 2009 to 2017, often as his sole personal assistant, was far from a typical 9-to-5. The jury was shown a list of responsibilities that painted a picture of a life lived not for oneself, but entirely for another. Mia testified her duties included anticipating his whims, needs, and moods. Think about that, not just responding to requests, but anticipating them, a task requiring constant vigilance and an almost psychic connection to her employer's desires. The demands were often bizarre, almost surreal. She mentioned cracking his knuckles, a task so personal, so physically close, it speaks volumes about the expected level of intimacy and servitude. She was also responsible for doing his taxes, a significant financial responsibility. And then there were the stretches of time, up to 22 hours a day, she alleged, where her job was simply to stand next to him, doing nothing, just being present. The directive was clear: stay in PD eyesight unless explicitly told otherwise. This wasn't just employment, it was an existence under constant surveillance. Personal space and freedom became luxuries Mia could apparently no longer afford. She wasn't allowed to lock her bedroom door, couldn't leave without asking. Her longest stretch without sleep, 5 days. She admitted, "I didn't have time to feel, but insane." Even when she was promoted in 2013 to development director for Combs' Revolt Films, a significant step up, she told the court she still had to perform all the insane assistant situation tasks. But the alleged control wasn't just about work hours and bizarre tasks. Mia's testimony took a darker, more terrifying turn, detailing alleged acts of direct physical aggression. The courtroom listened intently as Mia described how Combs' allegedly volatile moods could escalate into physical violence directed at her. Her words were chillingly direct. "He's thrown things at me. He's thrown me against the wall. He's thrown me into a pool. He's thrown a book at my head." These weren't isolated incidents, she implied, but part of a pattern of behavior that instilled fear and uncertainty. She recounted specific instances that highlighted this alleged propensity for rage. There was the Wi-Fi incident. They were on the set of a music video in Los Angeles, in Combs' trailer, and the internet wasn't working. When Mia informed him that technicians were addressing the issue, Combs allegedly cut her off, screaming that she shouldn't return until she'd figured it out herself, making some remark about calling Bill Gates if necessary. Then, she testified, "He chucked a computer at my head." Imagine the shock, the fear of having a piece of equipment, a laptop, hurled at you by your boss. Another disturbing event Mia detailed has become known as the spaghetti incident. It was late after a night at a club, and Combs allegedly ordered her to go get everybody IHOP right now. Mia explained to the court, "We had been out since 8 in the morning, like go, go, go." She turned to go to her room first, stating, "I was on my period and needed to change my tampon." A perfectly normal human need, but her failure to immediately comply with his IHOP demand allegedly infuriated Combs. He was pissed, Mia testified. "Like, yo, girl, I told you now. I didn't tell you go to your room." Combs allegedly grabbed a bowl of spaghetti and threw it at me aggressively and started cursing at me and told me to get out of his house. The next day, she was informed she was being suspended without pay. Beyond these alleged physical outbursts, Mia described a relentless psychological warfare. Sometimes he treated me like his best friend, his working partner. Sometimes he treated me like I was a worthless piece of crap. She told the jury about really long extended rants about how incompetent and stupid I was, and how he would dangle job opportunities or threaten to take them away, including television credits or scrapping projects she'd worked hard on, all depending on his mood. He would say things like, "One day you can do whatever you want at any of my companies," she testified, only to have those hopes dashed by threats. This constant emotional whiplash, this alleged pattern of abuse, created an environment of pervasive fear. Mia wasn't the only one who allegedly endured this. She claims she also witnessed the abuse of Combs' then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in horrifying, unforgettable detail. The bond between Mia and Cassie Ventura grew strong under the pressures of life within Combs' orbit. Mia testified they became like sisters. However, even this sororal connection was allegedly subject to Combs' control. Mia said she spent as much time as I was allowed with Cassie, and often this was at Combs' discretion, sometimes to go help Cassie, other times to accompany her, but frequently, Mia felt it was to keep tabs on her and to be able to get in touch with her through me, to check up on her. She testified that something really scary would happen if she and Cassie did something together without Combs' permission. Mia painted a grim picture of Combs' relationship with Ventura, describing it as a cycle of highs and lows, unequal and equal, toxic, I'd say abusive, like it was abusive towards her. Her voice heavy with emotion, she told the court, "I've seen him attack her. I've seen him throw her on the ground. I've seen him chase her." And Cassie's response to these alleged onslaughts: "No, I've just seen her put her arms up like to get him to stop." Mia's testimony about Cassie's alleged abuse often corroborated accounts from other witnesses, like stylist Deont Nash. She spoke of an incident in Ventura's Los Angeles apartment. Combs allegedly arrived banging on the door, very angry, screaming at Cassie, "Have you been drinking?" echoing Nash's account. Mia said Combs threw Ventura to the ground. When Mia tried to intervene, getting on Combs' back, he allegedly threw me against the wall so quick and so easily. "I realized we were in real danger." Mia recalled the terrifying change in Combs. His eyes turned black and there was, like, no getting through. I was trying to get him to stop, and it was like he was looking through me. It was the first time I realized the danger we were actually in. Mia called them hotel nights, a term that seemed to signify a recurring and dreaded event involving Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura. Mia's role in these nights was disturbingly intimate yet detached. She testified that she would sometimes take them to the hotels, unpack, and set up. This setup included packing all of his lotions and potions, baby oil, and a specific collection of candles. There was a mixture of the cheap and the expensive ones, Mia told the court. The cheap ones were the Glade white linen with the label off, and the expensive ones were diptych. This detail about the candles, the mundane mixed with luxury, adds a strange, unsettling layer to the scene she painted. She then had to just be on call essentially if he needed anything and clean up before housekeeping. One specific hotel night at the London Hotel in New York stood out in her memory. Combs allegedly asked her to bring something to his room. Cassie answered the door wearing a bright blue wig, Mia testified. Ventura looked like she was struggling, different than I had seen her before, so much that I asked, "Are you good?" Essentially like, "Are you okay?" Ventura's reported response was a rushed, No, I'm okay, I'm good," and closed the door. The image is haunting: a bright blue wig, a look of struggle, a quickly closed door. The aftermath of these hotel nights was part of Mia's duties. She told the jury it was standard procedure for her to clean up the hotel rooms. The reason? He wanted to clean up enough stuff that a housekeeper couldn't take and run to TMZ or expose anything about his personal private business. She described the rooms looking like a nightmare after Combs left. They were just destroyed, very messy. The details are graphic. I saw a lot of candle wax everywhere that was impossible to get out. There would be lots of wet towels everywhere. This is chillingly consistent with Cassie Ventura's own prior testimony, where she claimed Combs expected her to engage in freak-offs. even when she was on her period. Beyond the physical and emotional torment, Mia testified about another disturbing layer to Combs' alleged control and influence. The courtroom listened, hushed, as Mia, often looking down and speaking in a soft, low voice, testified about the first time Sean Combs allegedly sexually assaulted her. The alleged incident took place a few months into her job as his personal assistant, a time when she was still learning the complex dynamics of his world. The setting was the prestigious Plaza Hotel in New York, during Combs' 40th birthday celebrations. Mia recounted how Combs had rented the penthouse and asked to speak with her alone in the kitchen. There, he allegedly began praising her work, telling her she was doing a good job and that she didn't have to be nervous or scared to come to him. He reportedly said he noticed she was doing great, sort of like, "We're going to be working closer together." These words, which might sound like encouragement from another employer, took on a sinister connotation in Mia's telling. Then Mia testified Combs gave her 2 shots of alcohol. She remembered her reaction clearly. "I remember thinking like, whoa, did I not eat or something because they affected me like, I felt like they hit me kinda hard." She added, "I was in my 20s in New York and 2 shots would not have made me feel that way." This detail raises an immediate red flag, the feeling that the alcohol affected her more strongly than it should have. According to her testimony, Mia remembered standing against a wall when the atmosphere shifted irrevocably. All of a sudden his face got closer. "My eyes couldn't focus on his face because it was so close," she told the court. "He put his arm next to my head against the wall and leaned in to kiss me and put his other hand up the side of my dress." Prosecutor Madison Smicer asked the crucial questions. "Did you ever want to engage in sexual activity with Mr. Combs?" Looking down, Mia softly testified, "No." "Did you want Mr. Combs to kiss you?" Again, "No." "Did Mr. Combs put his hand up your dress?" "Yes," Mia replied. "Did you want him to do that?" The answer once more, a soft but firm no. Mia also stated that this alleged incident was not the only time that Combs made an unwanted sexual advance toward her. The quiet horror of that alleged moment, the violation described in her hushed tones, hung heavy in the courtroom. It was the culmination of all the alleged control, manipulation, and boundary crossing she had previously described, now escalating to what she claims was a direct sexual assault. Mia's words, added to a chorus of other accusers and witnesses, are now before a jury, forcing a reckoning with the image of a global icon, an image that may be crumbling under the weight of such devastating testimony. Mia's explosive testimony has painted a deeply disturbing picture, a narrative that charts a journey from an ambitious young woman eager to make her mark, to an alleged victim and crucial witness in a high-stakes trial. Her account, delivered under oath, details a relentless pattern of alleged control, grueling work conditions, psychological torment, and ultimately, claims of brutal physical assault at the hands of one of the music industry's most powerful men. It's crucial to remember that Mia is one of several individuals who have brought accusations against Sean Combs. Her story, while uniquely hers, echoes themes and specific claims made by others, including stylist Deont Nash. This accumulation of accounts, each with its own harrowing details, creates a formidable challenge to Combs' carefully curated public persona. The bravery it takes for any individual to step onto a witness stand, under the intense glare of public scrutiny and the rigor of cross-examination, especially when facing such a formidable figure, cannot be overstated. Mia, testifying under a pseudonym to protect her identity, has laid bare years of alleged trauma for the jury and the world to consider. As this trial continues to unfold, it forces us to ask difficult questions that extend far beyond the confines of the courtroom. What does this case, and others like it, reveal about the hidden realities that can exist within the entertainment industry, an industry that thrives on image and influence? How does immense power and wealth potentially shield abusers, and what are the mechanisms that perpetuate a culture of silence? The jury will ultimately deliberate on the specific charges against Sean Combs based on all the evidence presented. But the testimonies, particularly the raw and detailed account from Mia, compel a wider, more profound conversation about accountability, consent, and the abuse of power, regardless of an individual's fame, fortune, or influence. The world is watching, and the echoes of these courtroom revelations will likely resonate for a long time to come, prompting reflection on the systems that allow such alleged darkness to fester beneath a veneer of glamour.